Now joining us on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line in advance of what we talked about last week with Anthony Munoz, the Fatherhood Festival coming up at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, where this man has been enshrined for quite some time. Super Bowl 20 champion, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Mike Singletary. How you been, Mike?
I cannot complain. I'm blessed.
Fantastic. I love it. Where have we found you? Where are you today, Mike? What's going on?
I'm in Chicago today.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm running around in Chicago. I got meetings about changing our perspective, so it's all good.
Okay. How far can you walk down the street in Chicago before being recognized, Mike? How many blocks can you make it usually?
You know what? I don't do a whole lot of walking in Chicago.
Okay.
To be honest, but people are very nice and very kind. You know, when I check into a hotel, when I get into an Uber or whatever it is that I'm doing, there's always someone who says, "Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?" I said, that's always. Matter of fact, yesterday, for the first time, I've always wanted to meet him. I was standing outside waiting for the limo, and Frank Thomas came up. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, Frank, how you doing, man? It was great to see him. My first time meeting him. I've always wanted to.
Wow, a Singletary Big Hurt Summit that comes out of the blue. I mean, that's. I mean, where's Sandberg, right? I mean, you got to get Sandberg in there and Jordan. You got to get Jordan in there, and then you might have the full set right there, Mike.
That was very cool.
You ever meet Jordan, Mike Singletary? Did two Mikes ever meet?
You know what? I have never met him.
Huh. Okay. We got to get that done. We got to get something like that close to done. And so, what are you asked most about your football days, Mike? When somebody encounters you, Mike Singletary.
I'm asked a number of questions. One is talk to me about the '85 Bears. You know, how was that? How was being in the middle of that? How did you feel doing that? You know, and being a part of that team. So. And they'll ask me about McMahon and the Fridge and Walter and Hampton. And so, that's always pretty cool to talk about. And then, it's kind of talking about kind of, where are the players now, what are they doing, and then kind of what I'm doing. So that's normally, how my health is. How's your health, Mike? Well, I'm doing good. So it's those are normally the questions.
Well, one that I want to hit you on is your favorite Walter Payton story. When's the first time you met him? Mike Singletary, what about him?
So I'm in Hawaii, and Walter and I for the Pro Bowl, and so I didn't realize that I'm going to be initiated, and so I'm going to make a great impression. I'm warming up and I'm getting ready to go outside, and I put my jock on, and I'm thinking, man, this thing's a little bit damp or something. And so I put it on anyways and go outside. I'm not going to ask a whole lot of questions. So I go out and I'm working out. I'm running around. I'm getting ready for our first workout. And, it was this burning sensation in a place that I'm thinking, wait a minute, what's going on here? And so I'm kind of out there, and I'm just, I'm acting like it's not burning. And the guys come out. And everybody's kind of looking at me, kind of smiling and whatever. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with these guys? And so after a while, I couldn't take it, man. I'm like, oh, man, it's hot. And so I run inside, and, the trainer is laughing at me, the equipment guy. And they're like, Mike, so they got you, huh? I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean? Who got me? So, well, this is your first time here. So I said, who did this? So, well, we can't tell you who did it. So I walk back outside, and I'm looking around. I'm trying to find who did this. And I walk up to Walter. I said, Walter, did you do this? No. Do what, Mike? What? And, he's laughing, and the other guys are laughing, and I'm thinking, I said, Walter, I know you did this. Somebody, I know you did it, but I was so upset, he never said he did it. So the joke was on me, but I tell you, that was not a good joke, and I didn't like it at all.
So that's not sweetness at all. I mean, so you suspect Walter Payton hot sauced your jock strap prior to your first Pro Bowl practice? Is that what you're saying, Mike Singletary?
Absolutely. I knew it was him. I know he did it.
Oh my goodness gracious! So outside of that, when did you know? I guess that Walter Payton was the guy that you knew him to be on the field, Mike. You got one of those stories?
It didn't take long. I was in a preseason game, and you got to understand, up until this time, I don't like running backs. I made my mind up. I don't even want to touch the ball. Anything that touches the ball, I don't like. And so Walter, we're in a preseason game, and Walter's running the ball. And I'm looking at him run the ball, and I'm like, wow, this guy is pretty amazing. I mean, he looked like a Clydesdale horse, legs clicking up in the air, those long cleats that he wore. And it was just amazing to watch him run. And so that was really, it didn't take long to realize. And people had told me about it. Man, Sweetness, oh, you going to Chicago? Oh, man, Walter, I'm telling you, Sweetness. I'm like, what kind of name is that, Sweetness? But I get there, and I tell you, it didn't take long to see it at all. He was an amazing guy. Absolutely amazing. A professional in every sense of the word.
So then when you were playing and you said you don't like running backs, who was the one that was most difficult for you, or the one that you liked the least to play against? Mike Singletary.
Well, I don't like any of them. To be honest, I'm be very honest. I don't like any of them. But the ones that were tough, when you think about Earl Campbell, that would have to be, outside of Walter Payton, you got Earl Campbell, you got Eric Dickerson, Marcus Allen. And people say, Marcus Allen? Yeah, Marcus Allen is one of the greatest competitors I've ever competed against. He knocked the snot out of you as a blocker. He's the most complete back that I think I've ever been around. He can do it all. He and Roger Craig are both really complete guys. But Marcus was an exceptional blocker. But, those guys, when I think about, the running backs that really were special that I played against, there are certainly others, but those guys come to mind right away.
Well, I mean, I think Roger Craig should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he should be in the bus room with you.
Unequivocally.
Mike?
San Francisco would not have won 3 Super Bowls without him. There's no doubt in my mind.
I agree. I mean, when you're talking about thousand, you're talking about a guy who's a matchup nightmare and a guy who can run past you and also run past you because he's on a wheel route or something like that. That's Roger Craig, 1,000,000%.
Well, the other thing about Roger Craig was you don't find many guys that are as talented as he was, but extremely humble. I'm like, how do you find a guy like that? I mean, Roger acts like a special teams guy, but he is one of the nicest guys that I think I've ever met, and one of the most physical, toughest competitors that I've ever met. So extremely uncharacteristic.
Mike Singletary, Pro Football Hall of Famer, here on the Rich Eisen Show. And before we get to the Fatherhood Festival that's coming up in a couple weeks in Canton, Ohio, what do you think of the current state of the Chicago Bears, Mike Singletary?
Well, from a distance, I just think it's a matter of them really taking the defense and getting all that they can out of the defense. I think they've got a defensive tackle. He's a little older now, but I still think he has a couple of great years in him if he ever lives up to that. If he can play up to the level, that 3 technique that they have, if he can play up to the level that he should, he would be all world. There's no doubt in my mind. Dominant guy. The middle linebacker, I think, is outstanding. Those are the 2 guys that jump off the chart for me that I think are really amazing players. The rest of them, I know they got a couple of pass rushers, Quentin, but anyway, the guy coming off the edge, they got a couple of those guys, but those 2 guys, I really think, particularly the middle linebacker, if he can rise up to the level of leadership and demand that everybody is on deck and let's get ready to go, I think he can really help take that team defense to another level.
Did you hear last year when Aaron Rodgers scored against the Bears, he told the fans, "I own you"? Did you hear that one? from last year, Mike?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. What would have happened if you were on the field and the quarterback of the Packers had done that, scored, and screamed to the Soldier Field fans, "I own you"? What about that? What happened?
You know, I in all honesty, I don't really know. I think if someone would have said that while we were playing, I would have been shocked. I would have thought something's wrong with this person, because there were times in the game, Rich, that I honestly looked at Richard Dent, Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall, and asked them not to hit the quarterback anymore. I said, guys, don't hit the guy again. Just wrap him up. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. Wait, come on, man. Just push him down. There were times that I had to say that.
Come on, really?
I kid you not. There are times I said, don't hit him like that anymore. just push him down. No, Samurai, I'm gonna kill him. Oh man, come on, man. Mercy somewhere. He got a family somewhere. No, honestly, I kid you not. I would not lie to you.
So out of just concern for humanity, you would tell your teammates not to abuse the opposing quarterback.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess Rodgers feels he does have the numbers to back it up. It has been a Packers heavy run here quite a bit against the Bears these days, Mike. You know, when you think about it.
Hopefully they can do something about it. You know, we'll see. Mm-hmm. Time always tells the truth.
And who's the linebacker, Mike Singletary, that when you flip on the TV or watch a game that you really are impressed by in this day and age? Yes, sir. In the NFL today, or defender that you would turn on and say front seven guy. I'll even give you the whole front seven. Who's somebody that you turn on and say that guy is?
You know, I got to be very honest with you. I think for me right now, mm-hmm. and it's no disrespect to anyone. I think. Number one, I don't look at it as much in that way, but, you know, the last linebacker that I really looked at was Ray Lewis. Ray was the last linebacker that I really looked at that way, that I really enjoyed seeing play, you know, Junior Seau, you know, a guy like that, you know, that I looked at, that I saw could take the team to another level.
How about Aaron Donald? How about Donald? What do you think of him?
No, I thought you meant linebackers.
Sure. I'll give you front seven.
When you talk about the defensive line, wow, Aaron Donald jumps out right away. I had the opportunity to coach in L.A. one year, and he is just phenomenal. He is a tremendous build, tremendous strength, and when he wants to play, it is lights out. He is a dominant guy, and doesn't really talk a whole lot, but I think guys feed off of his energy and what he does, but he is truly a great player. Absolutely.
Mike Singletary, Pro Football Hall of Famer here on the Rich Eisen Show. I spoke about this with Anthony Munoz. Did you go in the Hall of Fame with Anthony? Did you guys were in the same class together at the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Okay. And so you guys are going to be part of this Fatherhood Festival that's in Canton, Ohio for Father's Day weekend. I'll give you the floor on it, on what people should know about it, Mike.
Well, you know, it's June 17th through Sunday the 19th, and just a Father's Day weekend, Fatherhood Festival at the Hall of Fame Village in Canton, Ohio. And it's going to be fun for everybody. Even moms can come. They're going to have mom huddles. They're going to have country music. On the field experience, interactive exhibits. It's just going to be a great time. And for more information, www.fatherhoodfestival.com for any other information. But it should be a great time, and I am so excited and fired up to speak to fathers and interact with fathers and learn something myself.
What do you think you can learn from that?
What do I think I can learn?
Yeah.
Oh, trust me. Now, I got 7 kids and a wonderful, wonderful wife. And if you hold a mic in front of every one of them, they tell you, Mike needs some help. So I would say I'm always looking to learn more.
Well, have a great time in Canton, Ohio, Mike. I always love catching up with you. It's been a while, so it's great to hear you're in great spirits and strolling down memory lane with us. Thanks for the call. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless. Take care.
Right, Mike Singletary, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.